Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mothering by Design. I'm Chrissy, your podcast host. I am super excited about this one. Look, there's another person on the couch with me. This is so exciting. Yay. This is my first time on my podcast having a guest in the Mothering by Design way. In my old podcast, I've had guests before, but not on this one. But this is really exciting. And this is my special guest today is my partner, Craig.
Hello.
Yay. Hello, Craig. I'll do a proper intro for Craig because he gets a big intro so that you can kind of have an idea. But I just thought I've been wanting to bring guests onto my podcast because I also love when I listen to podcasts and there's conversations and there's so many beautiful things that come up during a back and forth conversation that doesn't happen when it's just one person speaking to the camera. So I hope you enjoy this one. I asked Craig if there was anything off the limits that I asked him, and he said, nah. So apparently you're an open book, which is exciting. Watch out, world. But I also thought it would really be beautiful because, it is mothering by design. So this is a podcast for mothers, but a lot of our life is about our partners and our partnerships. And whether we're partnered or not, it's about, our friendships, our relationships, and how we relate to the other. And especially if you are partnered, this one hopefully will be valuable for you no matter what your partner's design is. And we're obviously going to speak a lot to the fact that Craig is a projector, which is a very opposite design to myself. But I just thought it would be really valuable to hear like you know, how it's affected us, the human design knowledge and the system, and how it's helped us in parenting and also in our relationship and our marriage. Because I think before human design, we were both kind of like, why aren't you like me? And why are you like this? Why are you such a weirdo? So yeah, we're going to talk about those sorts of things. But I'd like to give you a proper intro.
Thank you.
So today I'm joined by someone incredibly special, my hubby, Craig. Craig is a projector with a 1-3 profile, and everything about his life makes so much sense when you see it through that lens. He's always learned by living, by experimenting, by following intuition rather than the rules, and by sensing what's true beneath the surface. Before we met, Craig's world was shaped by surfing, martial arts, meditation, Eastern philosophy, and magic. It actually makes your life sound really better before. No, I'm just kidding. He earned his black belt, studied Chinese medicine and breathwork, apprenticed with a magician, and built a few creative businesses along the way. And then came one of the biggest turning points of his life, meeting a local organic farmer who opened his eyes to the idea that real wellness begins in the soil. That experience led him to buy the land that became Shambhala Farm, which is now our home, where he grew food for the local community for several years. After some time away for travel and self renewal, Craig went to Bali for a yoga training. That's where our story began. In 2017, we met in that training. We shared a coconut, had an instant connection, and everything in both of us just knew. We fell in love quickly, traveled together, and when we came home, Craig asked me to move in with him. From that moment on, our lives and missions weave together. And our partnership made sense right from the start. Craig is the projector, the systems, the vision, the long game. He sees the bird's eye view. Whereas me is the manifesting generator, the big energy, the fast energy, the people, the movement. Together, we built Shambhala in a new way. We built our yoga shala, ran retreats, tended gardens, grew food for families, welcomed our 2 beautiful children, supported our community, and shaped a life rooted in intuition, nature, and conscious family living. In true projector timing, Craig eventually shifted from doing the work to guiding others. So he created his first online course, began teaching families globally how to grow food, and helped build the digital side of our mission, including our beautiful recording studio and my podcast. Craig is my partner in every sense, in life, in parenting, and in purpose. And today he's here to share his journey as a projector with 1-3 profile, a father, a partner, and a man deeply devoted to living in alignment with nature and his truth. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you.
You like your intro?
Yeah.
Good. Um, so that's a little bit about Craig. As you can see, he has a very rainbow life, which I also speak to myself as a rainbow, having a rainbow resume of life, because especially with the 1-3 profile. So for those of you that don't know, 1-3 is the person that's come here to be a deep researcher, but also an experimenter. So it's this really cool combo of like someone who wants to deep dive into everything. And you would say that, right? You like when you get interested in something, you go down the rabbit hole for a long time compared to what normal people would do. And I have the line 1 as well. But the line 3 is a little bit different. Life is the school. Life is where you learn. So you've got this beautiful, so it's kind of like if you really want to know something about whatever he's been researching or diving into, it like he's the one. You go here, you go here. You don't need to take a course. You just go to Craig and ask him some questions. So, you become this like really wise soul and really relatable because you do have failures. You do have, but your failures are like you fall down, but you get back up again and people are like, "Oh, how did he do that?" Now he's doing this over here now. And that's kind of like what's shaped his journey in your life, I would say. When I look at the 1-3 profile, it's just like you are fully the 1-3. My first question, I have many questions, but because he is really good at answering, we may not get through all of them because there's a lot. So we don't want to make it too long of a podcast. But let's start with question 1, which is, for those who don't know you, how would you describe yourself in your own words? What would you say?
Well, I think you did a pretty
Yeah, but
good job.
that was really
If
eloquent.
I describe myself, it would be that I am quiet, shy, introverted, those kind of descriptions of that's how I see myself as a school child. I was always shy, introverted, but then around, a very small group of friends, I was outgoing, and then
Mm.
I chose a profession that was an outward
Yeah, being a
profession.
magician.
But I think it was still from this desire to experiment and play at home,
Mm,
because magic often is just solo practicing for hours and hours. So as a
yeah,
child, that really helped. But then I had to go out and perform
perform.
it, and that was challenging. So yeah, I would say I still carry that almost. I think I used to think that was my like a burden, that I'm shy or introverted, all those kind of things, because we get told that you have to be extroverted or outgoing to succeed. So I always thought that I was, something was a little wrong with me, but I was okay with it. But I always thought, oh, okay, it's just something I'm shy. But now I'm starting to learn, and certainly through you, that actually my shyness or isn't doesn't have to even be called shyness. It can
Mm,
be called something else, like line 1 or 1-3 or projector, or
yeah,
there's different names that I'm starting to learn and understand. I'm seeing that, oh, okay, some of those things that I thought were my um, kind of
like a
down
weakness.
weaknesses are actually my
Mm,
superpowers. And
yeah.
so that's been a eye opening in only the last couple of years
Mm,
of my life so far.
yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah, I would say that that's definitely been like even your mom will say, Craig was quiet. Craig didn't have a lot to say, but which is interesting to me because as a projector, you do have a lot to say. You do have a lot of guidance, but you need to be seen. You need to be invited
It,
by the right people.
and interesting, that first question of who am I, because I do dive into things, um, I then identify with whatever I've dived into, and I sometimes forget who else I am.
Mm,
So there was many years where I dove into being a farmer, and I identified as being a farmer, but it wasn't like I hadn't grown a single thing until I was 30, in my 30s, with children.
yeah.
Before that, I didn't have a farmer in my life, or a garden or anything like that. Um, but for 10 years, I did dive in that because I learned that this was a path to health, resilience, self sufficiency, all those kind of
Mm,
things that I wanted. So I dove in, and then I do remember kind of pulling my head up one day, going, "Wait, I used to be an entrepreneur, and I used to be a magician and a martial artist, and I'd
Mm.
forgotten all those aspects, and a surfer, and all
Yogi.
these, yogi, um, and I'd forgotten all that, and I had taken on so much of just the one
Mm.
that I was in at the time, and I really wanted to. I really wanted to fully immerse myself in it, which I did. But I think one of the downsides is I got to remember that just because I go down a deep track and I'm willing to go down there for a decade,
Yeah.
that's not my entire
Whole identity.
identity. Yeah, and because I started to get the negative aspects of being the farmer, which is,
Mm.
it's very hard work, it's very low pay, and um, and there's a reason why a lot of them are, you know,
Not super healthy.
well, they're not healthy, but they're also one of the highest suicides
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
around the world. So and it was one of the reasons why I wanted to get into it, not because of that, but because I started to learn that it was such a dying art,
Yeah.
growing food in organic, regenerative ways. And I didn't know how to do it. And I was a parent and I needed to provide for my children. So
Yeah.
that became the direction of like, I need to learn this.
Mm.
But then I took on the parts where and now I'm sort of peeling those layers back off, going, oh yeah, that's right. I'm also good at other things,
Yeah.
and I don't just have to be I'm the poor farmer kind of
Yeah.
mentality. I was and realizing, oh, that's right. I went down a track, and I'm down in there now. I know all about it. Know the good, the bad, um, but I sometimes find it hard to come come back out.
Mm. Yeah. But is it interesting to hear all the things that you've done?
Yeah, yeah,
Does it make you go, "Oh wow, that's right. I am many things."
yeah.
Right. I can have, and I think that's true for all of us, right? We can all have many different identities. Like, I'm a mother. Okay. Are you, the term just a mother, or are you a mother that does this? Are you a mother that's also been this? Like, it can be tricky once you're in the middle of, not tricky, but it can be once you're in it, when you're in something so deeply, to like, yeah, remember all the pieces of yourself that kind of
Mm,
brought you to that place, right?
yeah. And it was actually the the time that I left after almost 10 years of doing it, and went to Costa Rica and got to get back into surfing again, and then I went to Bali and I met you, and I was in a very different space
Mm.
for that year leading up to that, which I hadn't even traveled other than for magic work. So
Hmm.
it was I wouldn't I wasn't allowing myself travel or fun. It was like a
Hard
really,
work.
it was hard work,
Yeah.
and that was kind of what I defined myself as. And being a producer and being a provider so that
Yeah.
it was really nice to have those moments, or that perspective to come back out and go, oh, that's right, I am. There is other parts to me,
Mm.
and it was those freeing parts that then allowed me to feel like I could fall in love again,
Yeah.
because
Open back up.
I'd gone through a breakup, and um, probably maybe due to me working too hard,
Mm.
or not focusing on
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your honest answers. Um, do you remember the first time you learned your human design? And if so, what stood out to you?
Yeah, I vaguely I remember certain parts of it. I remember, I don't know who, like I remember having a conversation with Lindell and
Mm.
you,
Mm.
and Lindell did both of ours, I believe, or
Yeah.
she did mine at least.
Yeah. And like a business one or partner
And then
one.
yeah, and I I don't think it had a major effect immediately. It kind of helped me understand, oh, okay, so these things that I thought were not greatest attributes were actually have the potential, if I lean into them, to be my superpowers.
Mm.
But I wasn't fully aware of that just then. but I was at a critical decision point, and I remember sitting in the car with you, and we rang Lindell, um, and we asked some questions about this big decision that I had,
Mm.
and that was whether to close down the markets, which then was closing down a large part of my identity.
Yeah.
But I could tell it was already over. Um, but I was kind of holding it on for, for a couple more years than I probably should have.
Yeah.
And it was costing and taking a toll on me. But I still I wasn't trusting my gut or my decision making process, because it felt like, that was my identity. If I let go of that, then who was I? And
Yeah.
who was, what was this thing that I'd built up? I don't like, even though I've done lots of things, I feel like, maybe it's now understanding it's my projector thing. I feel like it's like foundations. I've got this foundation here, and then I lay something on top, and then I lay something more on top. Um, like martial arts, breath work, all that kind of stuff was a really major foundation as a teenager. And then I've layered
Mm.
health on top. Business was a way to get my own financial freedom. And then food growing and having a farm was kind of like a final layer of releasing myself from the big system that I didn't want to be part of.
Yeah.
So when I thought, I've got this decision to let go of the farm, or not the farm, but the markets, and then producing, and then the team, and all
Mm.
those kind of the ramifications if we shut or make this decision, then it's likely going to, there's a lot of people going to lose, or there's going to be a handful of people losing jobs.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of customers that will be really sad. And I prided myself on that we were there every weekend, rain, hail, or shine, over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And so that was a really tough decision to make. One of the toughest was was that just like a waste? Like, I never
Mm.
like doing something that's just wasted. But so it was helpful to have Lindell um, give it to me as from a perspective of my human design,
Yeah.
and seeing that, okay, no, I can't exactly remember how, and she didn't obviously say to go and do it, but she
Mm.
helped me
She
to,
asked the right questions.
yeah, make the decision from where I was, where I'm at and what my
Yeah.
design was. And that was really relieving. Like, it was really hard, and even afterwards I went through a an identity crisis and loss. But it really helped to have that
Yeah.
there, and then that started to help me kind of rebuild. Well, now that's an experience. That's a, and where to from here, and how
Yeah.
does that experience shape the next chapter?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Beautiful. And do you feel like you have a bit more of a grasp on your design now that, well, especially since I went down my rabbit hole?
yeah,
I went down the
definitely.
rabbit hole with our family, obviously,
Yeah,
before
I
I
think
did my training
um,
even. And
it's been nice that I can just ask you, like,
yeah.
oh, what again?
What,
Like,
what's my profile again?
yeah,
How does this show up?
yeah, or I'll hear you talk about another profile, and then I'll ask, oh, is that me? Like, because I feel like,
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
or that, and
Yeah.
so it does definitely help me to see that, yeah, even the weirdest kind of personality traits, whether they're mine or someone else's,
Mm.
they really can be the magic that,
They have a
yeah, that's been really cool to see that, and then really embrace the things, like even little things like recognizing that I like rest. I don't like to go so hard. I mean, like to go hard, but then I like to rest, and I like lots of time
alone
on my
time. Yeah.
own. And realizing, oh, that's actually part of
Yeah.
my makeup,
Yeah.
and then I could embrace that, and it didn't feel like, oh, I got to kind of push through, always hustling.
Hustle, hustle.
Yeah.
That's a perfect segue. What does being a projector father feel like for you in everyday life? Like, how does it, how does that flow for you?
Um, I yeah, I'm still learning that, but I do realize that um, I guess it's the projector part. I often don't know yet the difference between what's influencing me more, the projector part or the profile part, and
Mm,
even another part that I'm still unaware of. Um, but the projector part, I think, and but I think also the 1-3 means that I take it quite seriously, or I see it as like a really important task, whatever I'm doing. So parenting, like I don't really let myself relax too much because I feel like I'm away. If my kids are awake, then and I'm in the vicinity of them, then you know I need to do something. I need to fix something, clean something, hold someone, cook something. There's a
yeah,
million things,
yeah,
and I think it's easy for me to get overwhelmed by all the different things, but I also like the challenge. I think that's probably the projector thing that I like, the a challenge, and
mm,
or maybe the 1-3 is the challenge part. But I like to. Uh, I think that my downtime happens when everyone's asleep because as soon as
yeah.
they're awake, I can feel
The
there's
energy,
the needs and so once everyone's asleep, then I feel like okay, I can have a
let
few
go.
moments of yeah, letting go.
Well, you like to feel like you've done something of purpose and that you're productive. Am I
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
do you find that, like, I think a lot of parents would relate to that, you know, if you're with your kids for a long period of time or however many hours throughout the day, because for those of you that don't know, we don't, our kids don't go to school or, Birdie's only 5. So, I mean, um, she's with us. And so, our Cosmo's 20 months old. And so they're with us, pretty much
mm,
like always, right?
yeah,
There's not a moment where we're, not with our children. And if I'm working and I've been busy with creating my course, which Craig's been really supportive of. So that means that he's had a lot more time with the kids, right? While I'm creating and recording or whatever. And so sometimes I think I would say that if it's okay, I say like sometimes it's hard because he feels like if his day has gone by and he hasn't done some of the work on his own projects, it's like you haven't really been productive. But, in a sense, you've done like the most important work, which is being with the children.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Caring for our kids, just loving them, shaping them, not shaping them, but like just being there to support them. Um, but it's those kinds of jobs, that kind of job doesn't get the recognition or doesn't feel as productive in our world, does it? So
no, yeah. It's definitely from my experience is the hardest. Like I say, farming's really hard work, and it is physically hard. But parenting's,
yeah,
it's
takes
there's
it.
nothing that's harder because it's so emotionally and mentally exhausting and overwhelming. And I often think that I've got all this energy inside, not energy in the way of you know the outward expression, but
Yeah,
this sometimes I feel, and I've expressed that I feel like I'm like this V8 engine, but I can't put my
yeah,
wheels to the ground and
yeah,
get traction and go because I've like the the work of a parent, unless I'm going to outsource it all day long to school teachers and
other
nannies
people.
and stuff like that, which I don't believe in the school system the way it is and the way the world's going.
Yeah,
So I see it more as it's a social place, it's a babysitting place, but I also think there's other better ways to do it. However, that is hard, and
yeah,
so I feel like as the projector and as a man and that male energy that wants to just be the provider and go
yeah,
hard and work.
yeah,
Like I feel like I could easily do that, but then in a way that would be neglecting some of the most important and the hardest work. Um, and so it's been a dance between us both to
yeah,
both get our needs met so we can be creative because that's it. clearly something we both
Yeah.
like to produce or create. And we also want to consciously raise our children
Yeah.
without just outsourcing it. But that's an incredibly hard thing, and I certainly don't ever feel like I've got it sorted. It always feels like, okay, like it's a new challenge,
Yeah. Every
a
day.
new thing. Like even just today, like our kids are with your mum and dad,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah. Which is rare.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Okay. Thank you. Um, so just in case, because we didn't chat about this yet, but Craig actually has 4 children. So he's a papa to 4 kids, and 2 of them are teenagers. So do you feel like knowing our kids' designs has been helpful in a way? And do you, not that, I don't know if it's wrong to say, do you wish, or, I mean, do you think it would have been valuable, when you were growing up with Kai and Isaiah, who are now more grown up, to know their designs? And,
Mm, definitely.
and now, like, I know them. I know their designs. I know the secrets. And I've shared that with Craig, of course, and it can be helpful at any stage. And I just wonder, if would that have been something that you like? Do you think human design has been helpful for you to know, like, Birdie's a manifester,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Cosmo's a projector?
certainly. Like it definitely is that blueprint that it's called. Like you can really see behind um, the the what we see with our eyes
Yeah,
and what we sense from our children, and and although I knew that every child is different, um, it's still, I think, because it's doesn't have language in society. It's we can comprehend that
yeah,
thing of saying everyone's child's different, but
yeah.
they still need to fit in.
But they should still fit in.
Yeah,
Yeah, they still need to be in this box.
yeah.
Put them in this
So
box.
I think it would have given me more
Mm.
permission to understand their differences. So it's definitely been really helpful for Birdie and Cosmo to see them
Yeah,
at a younger age.
yeah.
But it's really nice to see my older kids, and it is wild to me that in the same year that one turned 18, the other one turned 1. Um,
That is wild.
and yeah, I never thought I was even going to have any kids. So
Do, 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 do. Here comes the manifesting generator wife. Let's talk about that. So you met me at a time when you'd been through your relationship with your ex, of which you had your 2 other older children, and you know you guys had your things that you did and life that you built, and then you split up, and then you went off, and like you said, you kind of had a break and traveled for not long, but you traveled to Costa Rica, right? And then you also came back, and then you went and discovered that you wanted to do this other training in Bali, and you were open to that. And that was the training that I went to, and I kind of got this like last minute invite to it, and I was like, ugh, using my sacral energy to say yes, for whatever reason, even though I was like, why am I going to this? So yeah, and then when we met, I'll never forget. He was very like such projector vibes, right? Like super quiet, super. Not that any the projectors have to be quiet, but just like he was very piercing. So projectors have their aura is like that. They can see right into the other. They can pierce right into your G center, which is your identity. Like your sense of self and direction, and all of that, all those important things. So Craig very much has that as a projector. And I just remember sometimes when we would talk and he would just like look directly into my soul and I'd be like, who is this guy? But yeah, we fell in love really quickly. Um, how do you, the next question is about being married to a manifesting generator, but like for you, you know, energetically, we're obviously so, so different in the spectrum of like human design energy types, like where projectors are over here and then mani-gens over here, right? We're nowhere anything alike. Not that any of them are, but in a way, I think they're quite opposites. Um, how does that feel for you? And does that, do you feel the differences often, and even when we met? And you know, do you find that challenging sometimes? Do you find it positive? Like you can speak to it honestly. Obviously, I'm not going to be offended, but because I know
No,
you
I
love me.
I fell in love with you, and I knew that you were a very different energy type than me. Not that I knew human design back
Yeah.
then, but you seemed a lot more outgoing and all. You liked singing, and I was quiet. I like surfing, and it didn't really matter that there was some things that we didn't have in common. I was just attracted to you, and
Yeah.
I think that I like our differences. I re- uh, I think that's what I'm attracted to. I enjoy that because I'm not looking for someone that like I'm already me, and I'm
Yeah.
happy to be me, and I don't need you to be me.
Yeah.
I know how to be me, and we don't need to both sit on the couch and not talk. So I'm happy that you can, and I, as you know, I certainly can talk once I get going.
Yeah.
But I do like that you listen to music, and you bring artwork and color, and so to me, I like being like the container or the blank space. Like if I was when I'm have been living on my own, I don't have artwork up, I don't play music, I don't, it's bland, but it's
It's quieter.
yeah, well, it's just that's how I
Got
was.
louder.
um that foundation of that martial arts. It was
Yeah.
all about being um uh
Spacious, maybe?
like they used to talk about the pendulum, like you're going to swing from this side to this side, and my teacher would always be talking about we want to be in the middle. We don't want to
Okay.
have high emotions up here and
Ah,
low emotions. We're aiming for that. So I
yeah.
was trying for many years to be that center,
Yeah.
and it was something that came natural to me.
Yeah.
But then I liked meeting someone like yourself who was, you know, off
Yeah.
loud and fun, and
Bit of fire.
so exactly that fire energy. And so that yeah, I love that, and I
Yeah.
still love that about you today. And I love having, Birdie as a manifester, and Cosmo, we're still seeing him emerge.
Yeah.
But Birdie's certainly got a an energy type that can keep us entertained for
Hours on end.
hours. Yeah.
Even when we want her to stop. Bless. Yeah, cool. And do you feel like when you feel into, you know, I mean, I I know I remember before, sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable now that I've switched my legs up. Um when before human design, before I really understood about who I was, my energy type, even though I knew who I was and I knew how I probably moved through the world, I didn't have that permission, yet about like I pivot often. I make quick decisions because of sacral authority. I um i need options. I need yes or no. I need like, what do you want to do for dinner? This or this. Do you want to go here? Yes or no? And I'll never forget, like, one of the things that I remember is like, because when I came to move with you, there's like this whole operation here. Like, it's a farm. People come here, people work here. Like, there's markets, there's all the things. So I kind of came into Craig's world. And I had a very different world back in the city where I was teaching lots of yoga and I was living, by myself in my apartment and I was doing my own little thing. And then I came here and it's obviously like coming into a family with two kids and then also, a business. So it was a lot. And then I remember sometimes having these deep conversations with you, very projector vibes, very like, piercing questions and like big picture questions. And sometimes, Craig, you would ask me like very like open-ended questions about the future and I'd feel so stupid because I didn't have an answer for him. I couldn't. There was nothing there. There was nothing like, it was like just crickets inside and like emptiness, and cuz my sacral was like, I don't have anything to respond to. So I feel like I just remember times in our relationship that it was really tricky sometimes because I don't think I had the knowledge and the blueprint of like you and how you see things and how you communicate and me and how important it is for me to have those options when you're asking me questions, right? Like, don't you feel like knowing that has kind of altered things for us? I mean, it feels very different to me in our relationship. That could just be time as well and wisdom. I don't know. But I do feel like human design has been such a supportive tool for our marriage and our communication. Because I just get him now. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's meant to ask me those big questions. But now he also understands that if he gives me too many open ended questions, we're not going to really get very far.
Yeah.
Right. Or even when it's about what we want to do, like, what do you want to do today with the kids? Well, you got to like let's think of a few options and then I can feel into it with my sacral. Otherwise, the open-ended means that we'll sit there all day doing nothing, right? And like twiddle our thumbs. So I don't know. For me, I guess I'm saying I feel like human design has given us this really beautiful tool for better understanding each other, and I understand now why you need that alone time in a way that other people might not, and I might not. Like I need my alone time too. We all do, but I can feel that it's like it's of the essence for Craig because as a projector, if there's no rest, if there's no downtime for them, they can't even like tap into that wisdom that they have. It's harder for them to it's harder for you to tap into the value that you actually bring to the world, right, and to our lives. So I get that now, but I don't think I understood it before as much, and I probably didn't respect it as much or give space for it as much, And so to me, I guess what I'm saying is like, yeah, I think human design has really altered things and the way that our marriage flows, our
Yeah.
everyday life flows. Um, yeah, I don't know. Do you feel
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that it's been
absolutely.
helpful with
Yeah.
like our communication and
Yeah.
in a way?
Yeah. Otherwise, it's so tempting to try to have th- this feeling of having the other partner kind of bend and mold to
Yeah.
the other one so that we
Yeah.
kind of understand each other. So I'm I like being philosophical and spiritual, and I can go off in on tangents of
Yeah.
um and then I kind of it's easy for me to expect that you're on the same wavelength, and or you're interested in that, going as deep into a certain topic, and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, that's right, that's for me to explore.
That's your passion.
um, and then yeah, and I'm still learning it, like I gotta ask it in a different way.
Yeah.
Give you some options. um so yeah, it's that's just a small example, but I think it's revolutionized how we communicate
Mm.
because we've got this framework that is very clear, and blueprints. It even that name works well in my understanding, because it's like, oh yeah, you got blueprints for a building.
Yeah.
You don't just change the blueprints, like
Yeah.
they're the underlying
Yeah.
thing. So if I can see or understand your blueprints, um, then I'm not wondering, why do you not understand my, this,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, exactly.
and I can let things be as they are, rather than trying to have this feeling of wanting to change my family members to better, or to change me to fit in with my family.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, so I think that's huge.
Yeah.
People knew that
Yeah.
about themselves, and they're not trying to change their partners.
Yeah. I think it's huge too. I think, I don't know, like marriage counseling is important. And I also think like throw some human design in there. I
Yeah.
feel like it would be amazing. And that it is the modality of the future with the new paradigm coming at 100% is why
Mm.
that's why it's here. Um, and in regards to like the way, like our energy differences, I kind of had a question. I'm looking at it now, where you feel our energy differences complement each other the most. Is there anything that you would, you know, would have to speak to about that?
I think that we've got quite different energies. So um, even though that you're a one and I'm a one in our
Yeah, but
profile, it doesn't even feel. I feel like
yeah, no, there's
we're definitely more of that ikigai image. I'm seeing, like, you got two circles
yeah,
and then a third circle.
yeah,
I think, yeah, we've got a little bit of overlap, and we've got lots of, not
different.
overlap,
Yeah,
and I love that, because then like I love coming out in the morning and there's music, but again, it's not the sort of thing that I come out and put music. I would come out and put a podcast, or I'd put an audio book, or I've said it before, I
There's
would put
nothing.
one CD in my car and I just
Oh, that's
play
right.
it
Yeah,
on
Craig had the
repeat.
same I was like, oh, my manifesting generator, like,
Because that it doesn't,
change it,
to me,
change
it
it.
just it's just nice background noise.
Yeah,
And then, like, even watching a movie, I love watching movies. Often the movie doesn't need to do anything for me, but it occupies my mind enough. And then during,
yeah,
whatever it is, it could be an action movie or a sci-fi or a rom-com or whatever.
yeah,
It just occupies the front part of my brain or whatever part of my brain, and then I'm sort of somewhere else,
yeah,
and all these ideas are coming through, and
yeah,
then I've either got to have my book or on my phone, and I'm writing
yeah,
ideas down. I don't do it as much in books now, probably because digital notes, but I've filled up, so
yeah,
many books, and now I've got, folders and folders of digital notes
yeah,
organized in different ways that, some I refer back to and
yeah,
they become part of a system, and others don't. So I think for me, having different music, different and passion, that I think that's something you really brought into my life is passion and emotion and love and fun and laughter, and which seem like pretty good recipes, so it's ingredients to put in. Where I'm on my own is very stoic, if that's the right word,
yeah,
and and aspired to be more stoic. If
yeah,
not that I really ever went down that stoic path, but I'm
yeah,
using that word because that's I hear that more often now, as like a thing some people or some
yeah, to
men
aspire to.
aspire to, and
Mm.
and I think I still like that, but I'm a parent. I'm a husband. I I it just wouldn't fit into my life
Mm.
right now,
Yeah,
and I don't think that I need it as much as I thought I did.
yeah,
As long as I get certain times of the day where it can be quiet and
yeah.
uh,
So about that, if you were to say to like say there's any projectors listening, hey projectors, projector mamas, projector papas, what would you like? Is there any advice you give them in parenting? What would you say? Like,
well, I think definitely find a way to take rest. If I don't know if every projector needs downtime.
yeah,
It's so hard as a parent, and I know there's so many solo parents, or that they're parents but one of them has to work or both of them have to work. So I totally um, think that most of us, the way society's just set up, with schooling and work and the whole thing, I think it's so
yeah,
backwards. And that's what I've spent the last 20 or so years trying to extract myself
yeah,
and my family from that. But I think that most of us are living in ways that are not aligned with our energy type or who we are as a species, as a human.
yeah,
But particularly with the understanding of human design, that projectors, we're in this world where we've got to, if we're parents, it's hard,
yeah,
it's from the start of the day to the end of the day. So I think being planned as much as possible, as much as I don't like planning, even though I'm a projector and I feel like projectors are meant to, I like having the plan and following a plan, but I'm not that great at like sitting and writing the plan
yeah,
or cleaning a room and organizing a room. But once I get started,
yeah,
it's really healthy and
yeah,
helpful for me to have an organized desk and an organized space. And
yeah,
so I could sometimes I'll spend it, half a day just cleaning whatever
yeah,
files
yeah.
or
You
something that,
organize it.
and then I have all this energy the next day or the next couple of weeks
Yeah,
to put into projects, family. So organizing. I'm often I spent a lot of time asking you, could you help to put some sort of organization structure? And really, what I was asking is, I need help to put to make something organized so that when we
Mm.
wake up in the morning, we know like
Yeah, we
who's
have like,
working. Am I
yeah,
working? Are you working? All right,
because
who's
we've
got
done it in the
kids?
past. So in case anyone's listening, but I don't know if this is helpful for other parents, but like we've done it where, like Craig would take 4 hours in the morning and he would go and do his projects and whatever he's working on. And then we would do like swap. And then, at the afternoon, I would work on whatever I needed to work on. And that's worked really well for us,
Mm,
even though it goes fast as we
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But yeah, having some structure helps you.
Structure and like there's not a lot of time for rest, but if it was when the kids were littler and they were having their couple sleeps, sometimes I would indulge in going and having a sleep.
That's not indulging, but yeah,
But well, I thought
it
it
felt
was,
like
but
it.
then
Yeah, it felt like it
I
was. Yeah.
realized actually that's a good thing. And there was certain times where I could have an afternoon nap, and when I
Yeah.
did, I loved it. It was like, oh, this is how I could really operate.
Yeah.
I can stay up late. I can stay up really late. I love staying up late because it's quiet.
Quiet.
And then I'll
Everyone's
I'll
asleep.
I'll have some hangout time, and then I'll get inspired, and then I end up working, and and then I could work all
I'd love to hear if
night.
any other projectors
Sometimes,
relate to some of this.
yeah.
I'm sure they
So
would.
having that afternoon nap for me was really great, but we don't do that now because
Yeah,
um, the kids don't
Bubby's only
do
having one
that.
nap. Oh.
But if there was a way that I could organize my life where I could do that, um, I know they do that in some countries that they'll have their siesta.
Mhm.
I think just the way our Western culture is organized from work from 9 to 5 or
Yeah,
tradies from
go, go, go
six to
all
two.
day.
It's it's just all about go hard, and then people either hate their jobs and then they really want to have that time off. Where I think, yeah, if you can just find, and it's easier to say it than do it, but
Mhm.
to find what you love and then pursue that, and ideally that will provide
Yeah.
in it. I do think that that advice works uh, better if the society could change, and from what you're saying,
It
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 is
is. Yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
So
It
um,
will continue to.
yeah, I think that that's the key is to find not even something like I think that gets a bit overused, that whole like find what you love and do what you love and you
Follow
never
your
have to
passion.
work a day in your life. But
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to just be like, oh well then, what do I love? I love surfing. Oh well, okay, am I just going to be a professional surfer?
Yeah.
And that wasn't a path for me. So but I don't even think it's that. I think it's understanding more about if through human design I started to realize actually I just like throwing myself into a project that I'm interested in. I don't have to love it completely. Like food growing wasn't like I just love it completely every moment I'm thinking about it. It was just that it was something I was deeply interested in.
Yeah.
I had so many questions about it. I felt um, there was purpose there because it was the foundations of our health
Mhm.
and our life, and there was problems in that area. Like as I started to learn, there was so many problems with soil in the world, and it dying
Mhm.
essentially. So then it felt like this fire lit up of like, okay, I got to do something about that. I got to learn about it.
Mhm.
I want to provide. I want to provide food for my community, and then eventually to educate that community so they could do it themselves.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not like I loved every moment of it, but I love one. There's a part that I did love, and that was I loved having a project that felt like it had depth to it that I
Yeah.
could work on, I could sink my teeth into. So I think as I started to realize that the projector, even just the word, the success and what's
Yeah.
the opposite.
The not self,
The not self was
bitterness.
bitterness,
Yeah.
and realizing, oh yeah, I've got bitterness there and there,
Yeah.
and realizing, oh, okay,
Oh
so
no, there's so much bitterness.
how do I let go of some of the obligation things that are providing bitterness, and how can I feel success? And what
Mm.
I thought I needed to do to feel the success, it it wasn't as complicated as I thought, and
Mm.
it it was often things that I didn't think. Um, I didn't have to do the cliche only do what I love, because then I just I, like it needed to be deeper.
Yeah.
It needed to, and for me as a projector, it needed to be something that had purpose to it as
Yeah.
well. Um, so if can find that, then to me that's so. And I think we can actually find that in anything. I like
Yeah.
this idea that when you work on yourself, which to me, learning about yourself through introspection, whatever way, I think human
Mm.
design is a really great introspection tool.
Yeah.
Then when you work on yourself, um, you can change your whole world by just changing your perspective. So I
Yeah.
love that idea that you can come out of a experience, same job, same family, same everything, but it's like life is completely different. The
Yeah.
person serving you coffee maybe was grumpy yesterday because you're
Yeah. Your
different
energy
and they're different, or
different
at
them.
least that the way you respond to them is different, and
Yeah.
therefore they may be still grumpy or sad or whatever's going on in their life, but
Yeah.
doesn't need to to affect me. And
Yeah.
in fact, I can possibly positively affect them.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that that's interesting to say. Oh, so you don't have to change a job and change a whole life around. It could
Yeah.
just be these kind of little dials that you can tweak, and you can find purpose in the job, even if it's got a you know douchebag colleague, or
Awesome.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we've all got. I worked for myself, but I still had people that I was kind of obligated to, or had
Yeah.
agreements with. So, and
Yeah.
they weren't always the
The best
easiest
people.
people to work with. So
Yeah.
that was my inner work that I had to do. And as long as I could find my own purpose, and I think, and realizing what is purposeful for me to get that kind of feeling of success is different to what it is for you.
Yes.
And that
100%.
and then that also was helpful of when I'm asking you questions of, like, where are we going to be in 12 months, or where do you want to be in, and you don't see it like that,
Yeah.
and me not understanding, I don't understand, like,
Yeah.
do you want to succeed at this, or
Yeah. You
and
don't
then me kind
do
of,
you even care?
I don't understand. So then realizing, oh no, you've got a whole nother measuring stick
Yeah.
than me.
The way I measure
Oh,
is different.
okay. And then
Yeah.
that's so helpful. And I now I think, oh, imagine having that not just with family or
Yeah.
partner, but with your team. Like,
Exactly.
if I'm going to
100%.
choose a
In
salesperson, I'm
business.
going to choose it. Like, that's going to be one of the questions, so that I can really find
Yeah.
someone that loves doing the thing that they're going to come in to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
yeah.
It's supportive in so many ways, isn't it? It's not just like, it's just in the family. It's like, yeah, if you can implement this into your business, which we definitely are doing that
Mm.
the best that we can. It's huge. I think so many people find success because of that. Um, I wanted to speak to, and then I might check the time in a little bit because I know we've been going for a little while already. Will this be my Joe Rogan podcast time?
55 minutes.
Oh, the short one. um, when it comes to Craig's design, so he has, and it won't come as to a surprise if anyone knows human design stuff, any channels or anything like that. So the channel I want to speak to is the channel of inspiration. And one of the pieces to that channel is Gate One, which is all about, oh, and there it is.
Put me
You
on the
lost me.
camera though. So.
Is all
That's
about that's his chart he's showing you, but, for the channel of inspiration, it's all about, creativity and bringing to life something that you've created specifically, your idea, your unique way, your authentic way of bringing flavor to the world, and it's also about sharing it and being recognized and people seeing it and, like, you know, really noticing it, and you're visible in this way. So it's really beautiful because I think it's just a testament to, like, your life, the channel of inspiration, like really needing to, when you think of number one is number one, right? It's the first one. So it's really important. And it's like you want to be that. It's an individual channel. It's very like, I think it's individual circuitry. Like it's very like, I created this. I didn't take someone else's idea. Like, and that's very Craig. Like I would say in my time with him, it's like if if someone else has invented it, he's probably not going to tap in as deeply. Like it's like if he's started that conversation, if he's created it, if he's had the insight or the inspiration, then he wants to run with it, right? Whereas if someone's giving you the idea, it's less appealing to you. Or if say there's a group of people already doing the thing, you're probably gonna, am I right? Run the other way.
yeah, I think it's more that, like, say, even with the farming thing, if there was a whole bunch of people doing it really well all around the world, then I would be like, great, cool, I'll
Yeah,
go and do
probably not as
something else.
tapped in.
But it felt like there was a calling there for me at that particular time because the person was learning from, eh, was one teaching me that soil is foundational, and then
Mhm.
I'd be like, oh, so soil is everywhere, and then he would like, no,
Yeah,
the way that food is grown, and he would basically teach me how all the food is grown that I've been eating, like from
yeah,
the shops all around the world. It's getting fed with chemicals, and it's been depleted, and
mm,
this is happening all around the world. And then so that was like, wait, so there's this thing that seems really obvious, but no one's doing. And I didn't want to do it. I wanted someone else to do it. I wanted him to keep doing it. He was teaching me, and then he retired. So then I felt
yeah,
at first it did come up as an obligation of like, oh gosh, now I'm gonna have to do this because I
yeah,
need this for my kids.
yeah,
And he's gonna be retire. So,
yeah,
and I was kind of looking around who else is gonna do it, and there wasn't anyone.
yeah,
And there
right.
was permaculture places nearby, and I was saying, oh, everyone must come and volunteer at your farm. And he said, no, over 30 years, there's only been about
Nobody.
two people. So
Interesting,
um,
isn't it?
I couldn't believe it. So, and then when I started to do it, I I got a lot of satisfaction out of it. I got a lot of feeling of success because it was seeing food growing straight out of the ground. So it felt
Yeah,
like it was a problem that I was willing to learn to help solve. But if I wasn't needed,
yeah,
then I didn't want to do it just to fill my time. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
willing to do something hard or learn something new in order to do something that I felt like the world needed,
yeah,
or at least that community needed, and
yeah,
or my family needed. So I felt useful, and I
yeah,
felt where, yes, if it's already been done successfully, really well, then I feel like, oh, cool, I'm not
yeah,
needed.
yeah,
I'll go somewhere else. And
yeah.
I
It doesn't probably excite you as much.
no,
Yeah.
I guess I'm thinking of it from a musician, artist side of things, which I guess it would be the same if I felt like there was, a style of music that wasn't being done, then I would pursue it. But if
Yeah,
I was just doing the same as everyone else, that's not interesting to me.
sure.
Um,
Yeah, that's very channel of inspiration, and especially the gate one. Um, and can you tell me how long you were ever employed by someone ever else besides yourself?
I worked at McDonald's for 2 weeks, but I didn't last because I didn't like being told what to do, s- which is
No.
not.
Is that one of your pet peeves?
I think it's if I don't mind getting told what to do if I if I know why and it aligns with, like, but I don't want to just be a robot or a
Yeah.
machine, a cog in a wheel.
Yeah.
That was something I really didn't like and
Yeah.
rebelled against in school.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I worked there because my brother worked there, my sister worked there. And then, and I tried to work
Like,
there. I was like,
I'll try it.
I earned $15 over the 2 weeks.
Thanks,
And
Macca's.
then I
15 bucks.
went back to doing my own thing. I think the first one was I wrote a um a sign for Craig's mowing, Craig's lawn mowing business.
Yeah.
Printed them on green A5 sheets on our little Commodore 64 or whatever we had, and I went to about 6 or 7 houses across the road, and I put it in their letterbox, and then I went home and I sat on our front chair where I could see out the window, and I was waiting for them to go to their mailbox and
Oh.
pick it up, and then
And immediately
their
dial
home.
you. Yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't leave the house that day because I was going to get bookings.
I was gonna get 6 calls.
I
Did
didn't get any.
uh
No,
his first entrepreneur
my dad
adventure.
hired me,
Oh, that's
and then
nice. Thanks, Dad.
my magician friend hired me.
Nice. And that's when you took off into magic work.
Well, yeah, and then I saw a magician because as a 4, 5, 6 year old, I used to get the magic show bag at the Easter show, and I was
Yeah.
always into magic and gags and tricking and fun, and so I'd put on little shows for my sister, and she'd often be my assistant, or
Oh,
um,
Leanne.
and and then kind of grew out of that, um, and wanted to be a ninja. That
Oh,
was my next thing.
yeah. Okay.
Um, I think because I thought they were like magical, they'd appear out of almost nowhere, out of
Yeah.
puff of dust, and they'd do all these
Disappear.
amazing things. So, that led me into learning martial arts and going
Yeah.
down that track. And then I saw a magician at a friend's 18th, and he was there for the adults or for the grown ups,
Yeah.
and it blew my mind. And then I realized, oh, you can be a magician for a job. And I
Yeah.
remember, I was in year 11 at the time, and so we were going to see the career counselor or whoever the person
Yeah.
was.
What are you gonna be when you grow up, babe?
And they'd ask me questions. What do you like? What do you? And my things from based not off skill, but just off what I kind of was saying. Oh, I think maybe this, or I like making cookies. So I was either a chef or a builder. So I did
Cute.
a week work with a builder, like
Oh,
what
okay.
do you call it, work experience.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see, but I certainly it wasn't
Wasn't
in
your vibe.
my wheelhouse, no. And then I saw this magician. I rang him up, and I was like, I didn't know you could do this as a job. And I found out, he got paid a lot of money too, which was also interesting.
Yeah.
So and he was full time, and he told me where I could learn. So I learned from him and from this magic shop, and then I got a
Yeah.
job there.
Yeah.
So I had to learn all the stuff in the shop. Um, so I guess that was also a job, but it was so much different. He
Yeah.
was teaching me to run his business, and then he was
He gave you a lot of responsibility
yeah,
pretty
helped me
early
get
on.
my ABN and start doing shows on the weekends,
Cool.
and then he became my agent after that. And also became my best friend for many years, and
Yeah.
still that whole family's
Yeah.
is a really close family. So that was, to me, I have this memory in maths class, and we had this teacher, this substitute teacher, and she was teaching us about mortgages, and I couldn't understand, like, wait, so why do why do I have to be so much money, and why do we have to spend 30 years paying them off? And so I think that's where the builder part came, because I started to say, like, raise my hand saying, why do we have to get a job and we work for 30, 40 years.
Oh, I love it.
Like my dad had, he
Mm.
worked in the one job for
Yeah.
40 years, uh, 30 or 40 years. And that's what everyone was told, is like, what are you going to get into? You get into it and you stay in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. We work forever and then we retire and have a few years
To do what
to
we want.
do what we want. And I was like,
Mm.
why can't we do it the other way? Like, why can't we do what we want and then make make it easier to get the thing that is costing us so much? So I was like, why don't we just build our own house? And she would look at me going, what do you, no, you don't,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
I
that's
think
not
she
how you do
explained,
it.
well, you still got to buy things. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well, I'm just going to build my own house. If you, and so my whole thing was, as soon as I could, I moved out of home.
Yeah.
I went to the beach because we were 40 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
So I moved to the beach with some friends and I worked on the weekends doing magic shows, and I got to surf all week, and I was studying Chinese medicine, on doing a home study course,
Yeah.
and then doing martial arts in the afternoons. And to me, that was life. I was like, if I can just do this,
Yeah.
then I'm set. And then there was a time where I thought, I actually, because I was renting, I thought I want to buy a house so I can move. Like I'm willing to come up to the city, work really hard for a few years, buy my house, and then go
Yeah.
back. And I just wanted to be like off the grid, get out of
Yeah.
it all. And that's when I realized I had a friend, the brother of the magician friend, and he was all into business and entrepreneurship, and he started to teach me what he was doing, and I started to see that, I'm that's so what I want to
Yeah.
do. Like I want to be my own boss, and but I realized that as the magician I was the product, so
Yeah.
I was exporting
The
myself
only way that you could
around
make
the
money
world.
was your time.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was fun because it's nice to travel and see places, but then I realized I have to
Yeah.
send
A lot of
myself
energy.
there. So then me and him started to go on this journey of, okay, let's learn all about business, no money down business, because we didn't have any money, so we were taking courses on how do you buy a business, how do you buy real estate with no money
Yeah.
down. So I went down a really deep rabbit hole for 5-10 years
Yeah.
after, while doing magic on the side
Yeah.
or on the weekends,
Yeah.
and that's what paid for me to then study and learn, practice business, and then that
Yeah.
led to coming up to the Sunshine Coast and
Yeah.
letting it all go and being a farmer.
Yeah.
Um,
And some of the businesses were wheatgrass business,
Wheatgrass,
banana
we had,
bread.
well, the first one was we were thinking, well, what could we could do, and we had a hairdresser living with us, so we're like, oh, everyone has hair. Most people have hair. Everyone needs to get a haircut. How hard that could that be? So we, for a couple of weeks, studied the for sale ads for hairdressing, and we narrowed it down to, all right, we're going to buy a hairdressing salon. So we found one for 20,000.
Yeah.
Um, we approached him. Hey, would you be willing to sell it to us for no money down, meaning for free, and then we'll pay you off over the next 24 months or something like that, or 12
Yeah.
months. So it meant that we could get into the business. We started running it. We changed the name. We took over the everything,
Yeah.
and then as we were making money, we were paying him off.
Yeah.
And then from there, that led to, oh, if we can do that there, can we do it in a real estate deal? So we did. We bought a church.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a hamburger shop, all for no money down. All these weird kind of creative deals. We bought a patisserie and we had to have some other people involved because that was a quite a big business.
Yeah.
And the other partner, he was a big thinking kind of creative finance guy. So
Yeah.
our small business, we kind of winded them all up, and then we took on this bigger business, and then
Yeah.
that ended up being one that had customers all over Sydney, and
Yeah.
had 40 employees, 24-hour, 7-day a week multi-million dollar bakery that
Yeah, right.
wholesale patisserie that
Okay.
we didn't know anything about that. So we would just park ourselves in the
As you
office
do.
and figure
Just sit
out,
in the office. What are we doing? What are we
well, we
doing
need
with
a
this
general
business?
manager, and then we need
Yeah.
a lot of them didn't even speak English. So we
Oh,
were like
wow.
trying to learn, like, wait, so which recipes? It
Like
was,
translating them and
yeah, it was
yeah, wow.
quite
But
chaos
you
and
had,
hard work, but
and that's such a beautiful example of his line three. Like
mm,
everything you just said. That's like a hardcore line three vibe right now that we're listening to because it's like talk about all the different experiences and like no fear to jump into it. And that's what line three does is line three jumps in. Line three just does life. Like it's like, yes, you have line one, so you do go off and learn things, but also, there's a lot of things you've done. Like you said, like when you bought this land and it was like, oh, all right, let's do it. Like there's one thing that I've always felt is really one of your strengths. And that does come down to that line three energy. Is the ability to take risks because I think we live in a risk aversion world. Don't you agree? Like it's like the least amount of risk possible for most people. Like, there's so much fear out there of like, what if I fail and what if I lose money and what if I, whereas with Craig, it's always been, and I think that's like, I do feel like that's like a true entrepreneurial, like if there was a channel around like as in entrepreneur language, if there was like just an entrepreneur language, it would be like the channel of not no fear of risks, like risk aversion. No, like he's not afraid of it. So it's like
well,
I will jump in.
like I don't know. I think I am afraid of risks, but I'm more afraid of the alternative
Yes.
of having to go get a job and
And being in the system.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
system
Yeah.
that I have in my mind, or the
Yeah.
system I had in my mind as a high school of following, you know, m- my dad or just the way that we were taught of like
Yeah.
you got to, you know,
Pick the one career.
pick one career and stay there forever,
Yeah.
that didn't seem right. Even
Yeah.
some there's the Pink Floyd song, I forget the one that is very much where it shows humans are just like robots
Yeah.
and that kind of would have
We
been in my
don't need
psyche.
your Is
And
that one?
I
Education.
don't know.
Doom.
I think that was in the background, but also there was a movie called Morning of the Earth, and for those that did know it, it was a really life changing um, movie documentary made. I can't remember if it was in the 70s or 80s, but I watched it in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was about teenagers that kind of dropped out of life in a way. They were kind of hippie
Yeah.
looking. They would travel and surf, and it
Yeah.
was images of raising food and having families on these properties and chickens and it like I didn't it
But isn't
none
that
of
what?
it made sense where I lived in
Yeah.
where I came from. And
Yeah.
so often people think, oh, you were in Sydney and you came and bought a farm. It's like, yeah, but in my mind, I was not in Sydney, and
Yeah.
I was trying to stay as far out of that kind of rat race as I could.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a natural progression to come up here and do what I'm
Yeah.
doing. And then the business side, I feel like when I found out that business entrepreneurship um, was a way where you could take control of your life and uh, give yourself a raise
Yeah.
or earn more money. It was like instead of saying, oh, I don't have enough money, then from what I was learning from the mentors, the books, the courses, all that I was doing was, well, if you're an employee, you have to ask for a raise or you have to work
Yeah.
harder. And
Yeah.
um, whereas being an entrepreneur, if you could figure out a different way, then and if you could be successful at that, then
Mm.
you could. The world is your oyster. You could have whatever you wanted, whether it was
Yeah.
lots of things or you could have more
Freedom.
time or freedom.
Yeah.
So that to me was like I'm all in, like
Yeah.
hands down. There's nothing else I want to learn more
Yeah.
than that. And so I lived with this friend, and we would just be, we didn't have money to, the course that we wanted to do was all about doing this thing with no money, but it was like $10,000. it was so we bought the book for $40, and then we said, all right, the course is in like 3 months. We have to raise $10,000. So we started a business called Now or Never Enterprises. We went out the next or same day, I reckon we would have registered it, got it all set up, and then it was to the races. Like I would have only had a couple of $100 in my bank account, and that would have just been rotating each week, getting more shows. Um, he had a business on the side, but together we didn't have a lot
Yeah.
to put in. So it was really like, okay, well, we have to learn the chapters on the no money down, the creative financing. And then the more you start realizing is like most of the people that made it big, they didn't use their own money.
Yeah.
So how come we were tricked into thinking the
Yeah.
only way to do it is work hard,
Yeah.
earn the money by the hour by trading your time, and then use all your own money to take those risks. So to me, I was willing to take big risks, what I thought were big risks, but they were also hedged on, well,
Yeah.
the alternative
Yeah.
is to me like death. So I'm this is not a risk, and every
Yeah.
time, and I've had so many times where I got literally no money and huge bills coming in,
Yeah.
or a payroll to fill, and we're just like we would do other things. We would test ourselves ag-
Test ourselves.
in other ways.
Yeah.
Like we were to um, keep our word. And if we said we are going to do this, we would do it. And if we didn't do
Mm.
it, then I was allowed to, if you didn't do something, then I was allowed to give you a challenge. And it would be an
Oh.
embarrassing challenge. So we would be working on ourselves kind of spiritually or energetically. But
Yeah.
then on the other side, we were learning all about business
Okay.
and then I was still doing martial arts. So that was, a internal thing about energy
Yeah.
and health. Um, and where was I going with that? That so if we said we were going to do something, we really want to do it. So if I there was a time where I didn't do something, and it was just something silly. It was like, I'm going to do whatever 50 push-ups every day. So then the next
If you
day,
didn't do it.
hey, did you do your agreements? So it wasn't even business agreement. It was just agreements, and we were learning. Well, your word is your law, and if you break that, then you start diminishing what your ability to create is. So
Yeah.
don't say something if you don't do it. And there was consequences. So this particular day, I said, "Oh no, I didn't do my agreement yesterday. Oh gosh!" And he would, "All right, cool, jump in the car, let's go." And I'd be like, "Where are we going?" And he would take me. His name was Pete. Pete took me to the local mall. It was lunch hour, and it walked me into the food court. It was full, and he said, "Your punishment for today is you got to walk into the center of food court, climb on top of a table, and sing at the top of your
Oh.
lungs something silly like I can't even remember what it
Oh
was
my
right now.
gosh. I can't even picture you doing this.
I don't know. It was
Something
like
good.
something like
Like a nursery rhyme,
yeah, like a
maybe?
nursery rhyme. Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to do this kind of like lightly, and he reminded me like, no, you have to do it so loud that I can hear you from over there. So he went over and filmed, and this is before social media. So
Thank God.
yeah, thank God. And I did. So and I was freaking out. Like this was, and the whole thing was that you wanted like
Yeah.
to freak your we called it an ego or
Nervous system? Would
the
your nervous
to
system be
basically say
activated?
don't. So if you're going to
Don't ever
say
do
it,
this again.
do it,
Yeah.
or change
Don't
it
ever
so
break
that you
your
yeah.
word
So
by
I got
trusting.
good at doing really simple agreements, but even simple agreements was like, then I started saying, instead of 50 push-ups, just doing one push-up or two push-up or whatever. I'm going to do 5 minutes of meditation,
Yeah.
because I started, but I'm going to do like,
An hour.
an hour of this. I'm going to be up at 5. I'm going to do an
Yeah.
hour of meditation. And then you'd fail like the
Pretty
next
quick, right?
day. And so
Yeah.
then we were, all right, let's just do micro
Yeah.
agreements that then if I do 5 minutes meditation, then I'm more likely to do 10 and that's
Yeah.
all a bonus. If I do one push up, I may as well just do 10 or 20 or 50 or whatever I was. So it was, but even that, it was hard. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I've got this thing now that sometimes I bring back in and it's a one breath meditation.
Yeah.
And what I used to teach in the food growing course as like a thing that you could do on the side. But even that, try to do one breath consciously
Yeah.
every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
It's so easy to, oh, that's right, I forgot the thing. Like, or I have
Yeah.
an alarm and
Yeah.
I would get my alarm going, do your one breath. And I'd be like, no, I've got too much to do. Like, because
I'm too busy for one
it
breath.
needed a couple of minutes to be like, all right, I'm going to prep.
Yeah.
It's going to be quiet and
Yeah.
and then I could
Yeah.
do it. But there would be days where we didn't do our thing. So that was really helpful to have this agreement with each other. It kept us honest. It kept us kind of always pushing ahead. And it also kept us that we would make ourselves way more uncomfortable than any bill that couldn't be paid
Yeah.
or a payroll that couldn't be paid. So there was
Yeah.
so many times where it just felt like there's a brick wall in front of us and we were going at it fast and it often was a money issue. Like, oh my God, I don't know how this is going to work, but we owe like 20 grand by Tuesday or we are done, like,
Yeah.
and we'd just be like, well, we're just going to run towards that brick wall and
Yeah.
figure something out. And often something would come from the side or some
Yeah.
opportunity and sometimes it would hit the brick wall and fall over.
Yeah. That's part of it.
And so I think when you say, yeah, risk, I don't actually, I feel like I'm a calculated risk taker,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's a good way of describing you. But I think for a lot of people looking in would be like,
Yeah.
whoa, I can't believe you did that. Or I can't believe you didn't know if you were going to be able to pay that. Or, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Where for maybe the majority of the world would not even go, like their toes wouldn't even go near that water, you know?
And I do also think that there's something to be said for naivety and whether the 1-3 is, good at doing that because so many times I didn't know what I was doing. I have no clue.
Yeah.
And if I knew even an inkling about what I was about to do,
You
then I
might
would
not
have
have
shut
done it.
myself down
Yeah.
because it would have been a risk or
Yeah.
dumb but so many times it was just like, well, this is the path. This is what's in front of me. This is
Yeah.
where I'm at right now. This is the opportunity that has presented. And now I've got to learn it.
Yeah.
And
And so the 3 line is always going to be like that. And like, no matter what age you are. So as you get older, like maybe you think like, oh, I won't experiment as much. And it's like, well, maybe the experiments will take on different shapes and forms as you become a bit more older and wiser. But that line 3 energy stays with you forever, which I think is really beautiful. Um, I thought we could move on to another question and then maybe wrap it up since we're getting a bit long now. So we have to
yep.
check on the kids, see if my parents are okay. Um, so like one of the things that, just to come back to being like a parent and, um, yeah, parenting and your children, um, in regards to projector children, and you've kind of spoken to this already quite a lot, and you can feel probably those of you listening can feel from Craig's, past and even the way that he saw the world when he was younger was probably very much not in the way that he was being taught to live his life. But it was like his projector brain went, nah, I can see. Sorry, guys, I'm too smart for this little system here, and that you're trying to put me this box you're trying to put me into. Um, and what would you, if you could, like say there's parents listening that have projector children and they're not projectors themselves, so they don't have that same sort of perspective that even their projector children would have, like your parents. What would you maybe say to those parents? Like, what would you want them to know, based on your experience being a projector child with, living in, our parents didn't have access to, didn't do like human design and
Mm.
and the kind of work that people are, the kind of communication work and and modalities and things that are in front of us all the time now. They didn't have access to that. So there's no fault on them. But is there anything you would say based on your experience as a projector child to a parent that's like kind of like, well, you know, how can I support my projector child?
I I think that um, I don't know enough about all of the energy types. I know about me,
Yeah.
but I don't know about all the other ones. So I'm still learning that, and I think that as I learn more, then I feel like my ability as a parent increases.
Yeah.
Like I've got more resources, I've got more understanding. So definitely that's one thing is I want to keep learning,
Yeah.
and it's not even though I we've done multiple different things. Like I've read books on it.
Yeah.
I've listened to you. I've had Lindell do our first reading. I think we paid for the business one as well. But it's not like a one time thing,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I know everything about myself and
Yeah.
my human design and my children's. It's like for me, it's something I need to really steep in and sit
Yeah.
with and learn about and so I think probably the biggest thing that I would am trying to do for my own children is observe their own interests. So,
Yeah.
um, and I don't. So for a projector, I imagine that they like having tasks or things, but then if they're not interested in them, like a project, maybe like a
Yeah.
puzzle, but if they're not interested in that puzzle, they're not going to do it. So I think it doesn't matter. It's more about well trying to identify what they like. And I've been watching the way our children operate. Birdie just loves to be part of everything and to win things and to be the loudest and the first
Be the winner.
um and the kind of the dominant one. But I've been watching our little boy who is a projector, and he wants to help me do a lot of things, and often you know I'm in a hurry or I want to get them done at some kind of speed that and but the
Yeah.
more I sit back and be like, all right, like this morning coming to set this up, he wanted to, or the other day he was helping me to shut the roller door, and he can't shut the roller door because it's very heavy, but then like I'm being more watching him, and every time I come over, he's like pulling the trolley and helping me to put this away, and I think he just wants to be part of it, and he just wants to feel like he's helping and
Yeah.
he's doing the thing, and I've been slowing down and going at his pace, and we'll pull the roller door down, and he'll look up and he'll put his hands and he'll do what I'm doing, and he'll push real hard, then he'll put his foot on it, and normally I would just push it past, and it would go
Yeah.
down, but now I'm kind of like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
he's learning
Yeah.
to run the farm in a way,
Yeah.
like so, and he'll pull the trolley, and he can't pull it because it's so heavy, but he doesn't want me to help, so
Yeah.
I have to kind of gently nudge it
Pretend
from
like he's doing
behind,
it.
and but I think I'm, he wants to open the door by himself. He wants to do the thing. He wants to lift things. If I'm emptying the compost, he'll come out and he wants a shovel and he wants to then
Yeah.
hose the thing. So I'm just adapting where I'm seeing his interest
Yeah.
and trying to engage with him in a way where it's going to be safe and that I can still get things done because
Yeah.
it can take 10 to 20, 30 times longer. Or it could be the whole morning of like, all right, we just
We just
shut
cleaned
the
one
roller
bucket.
door. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's one, he seems really happy about that. He loves it. He
Yeah.
feels so, he gives these big smiles of like so accomplished. So
Yeah.
to me, I think that's me remembering, slow down. He's he's got his own interests. He's got his
Yeah.
own. So as I'm learning about his energy type, which could give me a more defined window into what he is going to be interested in, I'm still kind of doing it blindly, but I'm trying to be conscious about well, what is it that is interested in,
Yeah.
and where is he showing in, like where is it wane and where is it kind of peak up,
Yeah.
and some areas I could kind of lift him up and put him over there, and other times he's like, no, I'm using that hose,
I'm
so
doing it.
then I have to give him,
Yeah.
the hose and turn it down and give him something to hose,
Yeah.
and he'll feel
And
so good about it.
yeah. And I was just gonna say from a human, if it's okay, I say the human design lens.
Yeah.
Like so, for any projector, they shine when they're recognized. And it's very, very important for a projector to be seen and to be seen by the right people, to be seen by the people that truly see them for like the wisdom they bring, the value they bring to the world, not all the hustling, not all the go, 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 do, like pretend generator energy, which they don't have. So I wonder like if some of the stuff that you're talking about, because I recognize in him when I say like, "Good job, Cosmo," or "Good job, you did that, good job." Like he loves it, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's because we're speaking to his desire to be seen. His energy wants to be seen. He wants to be invited in to whatever it is you're doing. Like and as he grows, the invite will also be around like what he has to say. What is it he has to.
Mm.
What value does he bring with his words, right? Right now, he doesn't have that because he just says "mama," but I mean, that's valuable. I like it. But I just wonder if like, in a reflection on your childhood, is there times when maybe you weren't recognized? Maybe you weren't seen for, in school or even at home for, your wisdom because you did have a little bit of a unique probably viewpoint.
Mhm.
If you will, maybe you didn't feel like you could share that at that time because it probably wouldn't. Maybe it wouldn't have been heard, right? It wouldn't have been taken in. It probably would have been thought of as a little bit different,
Yeah.
little bit off the cuff, and not really what you were being raised with in the society that you grew up in. So yeah, I just wonder if like for me, if I was looking in I'm looking in from the outside in to your childhood or to you as a projector kid, and it sounds like you did voice yourself sometimes about even in your class, which is awesome. But like even for someone like that is raising a projector child is like yeah, seeing what interests them, like nurturing what they're interested in, and also inviting them into the projects, into the conversation, like making sure there's an invite because that's really important for a projector, right? That's your strategy. But also like see them, like
Yeah.
really see who they are, see what they have to share,
Mm.
really shine the light on them. I
Yeah.
think that's really powerful.
Yeah. I'm very much enjoying learning about it, and still want to have it on our fridge so I can, because
Oh
I
yeah,
can't.
Craig's asked me to create like a little such a projector thing. He's like, "Can you create like a little cheat sheet about, the different like, all the different things and about the kids and, there's
Yeah.
profiles, there's energy type, there's strategy, there's our authority, right? The authority, the way that we make our best aligned decisions
Mhm.
and there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle."
Yeah, definitely. And the more I understand them,
Mm,
the more I understand the person. So
yeah.
I, I think yeah, I've been really enjoying you diving down this rabbit hole, and then
Yeah.
me kind of learning through osmosis from.
Having to do all the editing of all the modules. Craig's like, "Oh my god," like an hour into the modules. But yeah, that's just a bit I thought we could share about projector kids. And is there like I think it would be a nice time to, wrap it up unless if there's anything that if there's anything else you want to share. I've gone through most of the questions that I feel and you kind of actually answered a lot of them as we kind of went along, which is cool, naturally. But I don't know if there's anything else you want to share. If there's anything you want to ask me, if there's anything you just want to share with the Mothering by Design audience.
Um, well, like I'm just looking at my profile. Is that my profile? No, that's my
Your chart.
chart.
Yeah.
Like to me, even though I'm your partner, I'm your husband, I edit a lot of the human design
Yeah.
stuff. I still don't really
Yeah.
understand it. So
Yeah.
I
I'm not
want, but
doing my job.
no, I'm understanding it a lot
Mm,
more. But I think it's like anything. When I first learned about it, I learned about the energy type and it made sense.
Yeah.
And then the more I learned about it, it was almost like, oh, now I know less about it.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of unpacking that understanding of like, oh,
Yeah.
actually, I'm only
Yeah.
scratching the surface of it. And the more I learn about it, the more it does make sense. So,
Yeah.
um, to me, it is something I want to keep learning about.
Yeah.
I really want to learn more about our children,
Yeah.
and I think that I would use it in your hiring,
Yeah. For business. Yeah.
to assemble, like, like what's that the team, like a,
The dream team.
yeah, like a dream team,
Yeah.
an A team kind of thing that has all the different elements, so that
Yeah.
we're not too weighted down on one side. We've got people that love doing, like, I've surprised myself in the last 2 years where I've got into some digital work,
Yeah.
recording studio,
Yeah.
editing,
Yeah.
um, and I didn't think that I'd like all that, but it was almost that feeling of giving myself permission to go down a track that there was the self talk of saying, "Why are you doing all
Yeah.
this sort of digital work? You're meant to be a farmer,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you don't even know anything about all this stuff." So,
Yeah.
but there must have been just enough light, or even that I didn't have anyone else I could ask. So I was like, okay, I'll learn
Yeah.
this,
And that's that
and then it's
gate
been
one.
enjoyable having a problem to tackle,
Yeah.
and open up that, um, and then it's been not as satisfying, or uh, to have someone like yourself where I could apply that
Yeah.
to. So that's been really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
And in regards to your chart, I think like what I would say, because I think a lot of people would relate to that. Like when you first get your human design chart, or maybe the 50th time, even you look at it, you're like, what is happening? There's so many symbols, there's so many shapes, there's so many colors. And what I would say to that is, yes, it is multi layered.
yeah,
There are many components to a human design chart, which is what makes it so fascinating. And you do not need to know all the things.
yeah,
You can go down the rabbit hole, like someone like me who like go dive deep, and like, I offer one-on-ones, and but even in one-on-one, you get 75 minutes with me, and it's like I dive into it so deep. But again, there's so much we just scratch the surface. um I mean, we do more than scratch the surface, come on, but like there's always more. But I always say it's like, as long as if you understand your energy type and you know your strategy and authority, and you start living by that every day, and you apply that practically every day, because again, knowing the chart is cool, but if you aren't embodying it and you're not using it every day, it means nothing.
mm,
So what if you know you're a projector? If you're not living by your design and you're not living by your energy type and really actually honoring that and embodying it, it means nothing. It's like, it's just nothing. So it's like, I know my human design. Cool. How are you living it? Uh, so
and I
that's
think,
my passion, is teaching people, how can we practically apply this as a mother, as a parent, as a woman in this world, as a partner, as a man, as a father. Like, how can we practically use this every day
mm,
to create the lives that we are truly here to live? Like, most of us are off course. Often we're out of alignment, and we are living not self lives because we're trying to fit into a box that society created, that has nothing to do with these beautiful designs and blueprints that you came here to
mm,
embody.
I think, yeah, that the not self was something, was really helpful for me to
Yeah.
learn about that. And I think that most people, like you just said, are living
Mm.
in their not self,
Yeah.
because society pushes us through kind of
Yeah. One way.
one way. So
Yeah.
it's so many of us would be feeling inadequate, or
Yeah.
something's wrong with us, or
Yeah.
or maybe that we're not something, that nothing's wrong with us, but we just don't fit in,
Yeah.
or so I think that understanding that and realizing, oh, okay, so there is a not self, as in when I'm not in alignment with my design,
Yeah.
it even sort of tells you what you'll feel. And
Yeah.
that was like, oh, no wonder I'm feeling that and
Yeah.
that. Um, so just knowing some of the basic
Yeah.
things, and knowing how I make a decision was, it's transformational. It's
Yeah, 100%.
um
Yeah. And then you can always dig deeper. But I
yeah,
always say if you just take those first three things, the whole
yeah,
world can change. Your whole world can open up. Your whole life can change just with those three things.
yeah. Like there's so much talk about um you know taking your life to the highest possible way of living, or but half the time people are just living with some sort of chronic pain or some sort of chronic,
They're surviving.
they're surviving.
Yeah.
And imagine if you could just remove that weight or that pain or
Hmm.
that um whether it's physical pain, it could be just that you're living in your not self and
Yeah.
you've been so conf-
Conditioned.
conditioned and contorted to work in a certain way
Yeah.
or act in a certain way, and then that can manifest in the most horrible
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Um, so just removing some or seeing that, to me that just
Yeah.
is huge,
Yeah.
But that, I think it's also one of the hardest things is like how do you recondition?
Yeah.
You talked about it recently. What's that word where you
Deconditioning.
no where
Oh,
like the tuning fork, where you align.
realign.
No, but
Oh,
it's in a musical term where you, like if I'm tuning my
yeah.
guitar and hit a tuning fork,
Yeah.
and I can like listen to that and I can
Yeah.
tune my vibration or my string to that
Yeah.
calibration. Anyway,
Recalibrate. No. We're not
it
gonna
was
recalibrate.
in the masterclass you talked about it,
Oh.
but I forget the word. Anyway, it's that same concept of um, the like that when you I almost had the word
We're just
vibrate,
trying to think of the word now.
like
I know what you mean, but now that you've said that we have to think of it, my brain says no, I'm not
yeah.
going to.
But anyway, we can like our blueprint can be like our tuning fork where
Yeah.
we can, even though we don't even know what is it even like to have the thing that is the good side of our
Yeah.
human, like for me, success or versus
Yeah.
bitterness. And it's like if I've been living in bitterness
Yeah.
for so long, I can't even remember what it's like to be on the other flip side.
Yeah.
So the um, either a person or a concept could be that
Yeah.
tuning fork, and then we can um, yeah
Resonance.
yeah resonance, yeah. So how do we resonate
Yeah.
at that level? And I feel
So
like
our
when
reality
we
can.
get to that resonant level of our highest state, then it changes the world around us. And
Yeah.
um, I think that that's really powerful.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you
thanks
for,
for having me.
yeah. Thanks for coming onto my podcast. It
Thank
was
you.
lovely to have you.
Am I your best guest so far?
You're the best. 100%. You win.
Yes.
You're the best papa to our babies. Thanks for
Awesome.
being the best papa.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for sharing so um, beautifully with us about your life, your experience as a projector 1-3 in the world. And I'm sure that there are so many people listening that will really resonate and really like relate to a lot of what you've spoken about. So thank you so much for sharing. It's been so lovely to chat with you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks,
setting up the
everyone.
studio.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to find out more about what you offer, or like you talked about your online growing course and things like that, is there a place they can go to learn about all those things? Or,
Yeah. With the online course is still running, and that would be found at shambalaliving.com.au,
cool.
spelled SHAMBHALA living.com.au. And then
Nice.
there is a way of getting to either some free things or going straight to the online course. And then we use this place to film our live Q&As as well.
Yeah, nice.
And getting onto the mailing list is a big one because you'll stay in touch with whatever we're doing on the farm side and on your side.
Yeah.
And there may be some things in the future from a recording studio, digital business side of things
Yeah.
that may
You may offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
But thanks for
Beautiful.
bringing fun and music and love and passion and children. I didn't think that I would have all of those things,
More babies.
but I do, and I did.
I'm glad that we met. It was a good decision. All right. Thanks, my love.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for listening. Yeah, if you like this episode, please make sure give us a little rating and maybe even a review. Share it with your friends. Share the love around, and I can't wait to touch base with you very soon for the next one.
If you haven't got your human design chart,
yeah, definitely. Hop onto my website, chrissybethcoaching.com. Yeah. You'll love it. Love you long time. Bye, everybody.